What's going on, everybody? This is Dominic.
And this is Given
from Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. Make sure you guys go follow us to stay tuned to all of our latest podcast episodes.
How's it going, everyone? This is Given with the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. Welcome to episode 3.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Dominic, and we are excited and glad to be back on episode 3 after the holiday. We had an amazing Christmas. Given, how was your Christmas?
Dude, it was great. I mean, it's always good to get away for a day, enjoy the holidays, see the family. It was fantastic. How was yours?
It was fantastic. It's always really, like you said, it's about, enjoying to see the family, and just spending time with them, because we really don't get to do it as much, because we all work so hard. Well, we're busy,
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, though, Christmas is a busy day of the year, mostly for some people, that are working their jobs, like McDonald's employees and Meijer workers and all that stuff. But for people like us, it's a good day off to just spend time with your loved ones,
Exactly. And I do want to mention that this episode is brought to you by Ride Local, where they drive people happy. Don't forget, your first ride is always for free, and support your local community and save. All right, let's get into topic 3, episode 3. Why don't you start us off, Given?
So our topic today is going from nothing to something, and that's very important in business. I mean, you want to make money, right?
Exactly. I mean, as much as I say all the time, it's not about the money, but you also have to survive.
You got to pay your bills. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We can come into that. You remember that from KCTC we learned a while ago?
Yeah, I do, exactly.
The bottom, it's food, shelter, water, all the necessities, and then above that, you have all your other needs like bills,
right.
A house, all that stuff, and eventually it goes to your wants at the top.
Well, I think I was watching a video today. This guy, you ever see those guys that talk on, you pull up YouTube and you get an ad, and the guy, you might get that person that says, hey, you want to make this much money, see where I was at?
Sometimes it's a little scammy, but yeah.
Right, so this guy he was talking about it, and he was saying, I had a $4,000 mortgage, and I made $120,000 a year, and I was just getting by, and now he says, and now I'm taking vacations whenever, and I'm like, hold up, because if you had a $4,000 mortgage, then something was wrong. I mean, you really, and it's almost like people say, hey, I want to be a millionaire, but wouldn't you be happy with $400,000 a year?
Right, and also, is a $4,000 mortgage necessary? But hey, if that's a goal that someone wants and they like to pay that much per month,
well, he wasn't even happy making that, And I'm like, well, where's the point? Where's the point that makes you happy? Because money, you could make, if you're not happy making $400,000 a year, why would you think you'd be happy making $1 million?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Money isn't the main driver. Really today we're kind of going to talk about why you're doing it, of course, and just how to make that amount of money to get you comfortable, to where you can operate your business to get to the point where you need to be.
Right, and it's definitely a struggle, and it takes a lot of patience to get, to actually get rolling, and,
right.
And once you do start, and it does take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. For example, I remember myself when I started the business, I did Groupon, and I think I made maybe like $50 a week when I started doing it.
That is the start.
And I was getting by, and that's all it was. It was like everything the money I did make, it was putting back into the business, and there were, and I had to figure out, when you get to that position, you have to figure out how can you make money and get to the next level, because you have to spend money to make money.
The initial investment, yes, sir.
Yes, and it's like back then I didn't run Google Ads either, because I didn't have the money to spend on Google Ads.
It was all based off of your prior connections.
Right, and it was just starting. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't care about Google Ads. I was doing there's a saying too that people say, if you're not busy, do work for free.
Dude, yes, offering value from the start. So I actually wrote down, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wrote down some steps actually on like how you could help yourself to build value before you even make a profit. So I kind of wrote down like everyone wants to make money, of course, and everyone wants to do their passion. When combining both, it can be hard, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. You know, it's a hard thing to do your passion for money, but you know, once you get to that breaking point of okay, I kind of need to make money to do this. Unless you want to work like a side job, you know. But there's steps to getting there. Now, last time we talked about taking the leap. So now we're going to talk about more in depth of after you take that leap, you know, what you really should do before you start earning your money and how to get yourself there, you know, bridging the gap.
Right. Can I ask you a quick question real quick?
Yeah.
Would you, if, now I know this is your passion, doing what you're doing and with the music and everything, would you do it for free?
I've been doing it for free all along until just recently.
Right.
Really, of course, I would do it for free as a hobby, but you know, it comes into the thing where you're like, okay, well, I'm only living one life, right? Why would I do it for free when I can do it full time and do it for the rest of my life and have that be my job?
Well, yeah, obviously, you know, you want to make money off of it. Anything you do, you obviously want it to generate some type of value.
Right.
And a lot of times, you know, that value is money.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, it's just like going back to what I just said. You know, even if it brought you money, would you still do it for free? Like, for example, like. Even I hate doing work for free, like for detailing.
Okay.
But I give back a lot more than I get.
Right, and actually, that's one of the main first steps to starting to charge.
Right.
Is offering value before you even get the value back, or not even expecting any value back.
Right. Even at the point I'm at right now, I don't need to give away work for free, but I do, like for Christmas, I give away an interior and exterior detail for free.
Right, and that's marketing in general.
Yeah, it is. You're exactly right. It is marketing at the end of the day, and it's going to create some type of value, and it might not create value right at that moment, but it will eventually.
100%. So what I was talking, actually, the first step I had on here was start offering value early on. So that's at least what I did, and I'm sure that's what you did too. You know, you're offering value early on. It might be you might not be earning a lot for it. You might not be earning anything, but that's really important, you know, to get your first few people to work with, no matter what business you're going into, because you always have to collaborate with others.
Right.
And then I have build skills on here, so build your skills up as much as possible before you do anything else. Don't undercut yourself. Before Dominic and I actually started this podcast, we met together. We hadn't seen each other in probably, a year or something.
Right. Yeah.
And, we were kind of just talking to each other about like what we both do. And, I was telling him about my pricing and stuff like that. And I'd had a couple people that I've worked with, and, he was like, don't undercut yourself. And I'm like, oh, you're right though. I've heard that hundreds of times, but, I never actually thought about it. If you don't believe in yourself on it and you undercut yourself, then you're not going to get anywhere. You have to believe in yourself on it and charge what you're worth.
Exactly. And what did we called another producer out, and where was it? Minnesota.
So yeah, we were looking online like at random studios around the U.S. and we saw one in Minnesota, and Dom was like, "I'm gonna be giving real quick," and I'm like, "This is pretty dope, all right." And he calls as me and talks to this guy like he's me. He's reading off the back of my business card, saying like my services and all that stuff. And he was telling the guy, like, so how much would you charge for a professional beat, or how much would you charge for all these things? And he was like, whoa, like, your prices, you need to bring those up, if you truly believe in yourself. And I'm like, damn, Dom's over here killing it right now. And then, got the guy's contact info and said to send over some mixes.
Right.
So
yeah, I might be in the detailing business, but
marketing all day.
What I'm really good at is business, and it's something that just comes to me, and that's where it's something that just it just comes to me where it's like wow, even
And it comes to me too.
Right,
It's just sometimes you need that extra little boost because when you're talking about other people's business, it's really easy to say like this is what you need to do, but when you're in your own situation, it gets to your head a lot, and with going from nothing to something, I mean, you kind of have to get out of your head, and it's okay to take advice from other people, and you got to listen to that advice and really think about it. Like, oh shoot, it's actually more simple than I thought it would be, just to get to where you need to go.
Right.
It's a lot more simple when you hear it from someone else.
It is, and even you're exactly correct on that, because I even struggle to this day on myself, and I guess part of that would have to be with I guess self-discipline, wouldn't you say? I mean,
Yeah, which we've talked about before.
yeah, I mean it would be like self-discipline because it's like it's hard to keep yourself going, and stay on track and doing those I can help people all day and I'll still go back to those facts, and those are just things from what I learned, and that's why I can help people that are not as in the area that I am. That's how it gets a little bit easier for me because I can tell those people the things I've learned, but I can't tell myself the things that I don't know. So I'm always trying to learn every day.
Right, or them, and there's something in your head that's demotivating you. When really most of the time, I mean, we try to stay as motivated as possible, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes just when you're thinking about yourself, you can think negative things, and you have to try your best to get out of that mindset. But really, when someone else is there saying, "Man, I can see you're doing this, and I know what you have to fix and what you have to adjust," to really get you on the right path.
Right, and what I've noticed too is there's been many moments where I've been in the detailing industry and I've said, hey, I just don't think this is a scalable business like how I want it to be, and maybe in bigger cities where they have more exotic cars, it can be a little bit more scalable, but
Yep.
here in Grand Rapids, we're still a growing city, and at the end of the day, we're not a huge city. We're still a small city. We're growing, and doesn't mean that industry it won't grow here, because it will, and I know it will, and that's why I have to stay in it, and that's where patience comes into it, and I'm always, what really keeps me going is because, like I said, I've gotten to the moments where I feel like, hey, this isn't gonna work. So what I figured out is what I have to do is I have to create different things throughout my business to keep it working. So either different services to offer, different ways of doing things, and then that way it just keeps me motivated as well, but it also keeps my business going as well.
Right.
The windshield replacement, offering that, getting into window tinting, just multiple things like that. And what we just listened to Gary Vee, and it's been on my mind anyways, but this kind of, before this podcast, it kind of connected everything, because literally I've thought about, he said, whatever industry you're in, you're really not in that industry. You're in a media company for that industry.
At this point in time, that's really what it is, because
Right.
it's all marketing.
So I've decided, okay, hey, why don't I start doing photography and do a vehicle